Hi, it's a fabulous day today, no question. Outside it's beautiful, but inside it's a little bit more, should we say, complicated. We've just come through a weekend in which we all saw Minneapolis burn. But before that happened in Minneapolis, three other events took place. Ahmaud Arbery was hunted down and killed like a dog while he was out on a run in America. Then there was another lady who was walking her dog in the park, was filmed by an African-American man, and actually called the cops, indicating that she was feeling threatened by an African-American man. Now, what she knew was that that was literally an act of attempted murder, because the history between African-American men and the police is not good. Then, of course, on May the 25th, George Floyd was choked to death by a police officer who put his knee on literally on his jugular vein and throttled him to death. While America reeled in shock, because this whole event was really graphically filmed, nothing was done. The officers were sacked in Minneapolis. Then the complaints started from the public, and the officer with his neck on the victims, on George Floyd's neck, was charged with third-degree murder. I believe that it was a charge of third degree or accidental killing, murder, which threw the city into a riot, and the riot spread across the nation. What's it got to do with us here in the United Kingdom? Most people in the UK don't realise the profound impact these events in America had on us here in the United Kingdom. Truth is, I would say that 8 out of 10 thinking people of African origin, you call them black people, felt as if they were in mourning and still feel as if they're in mourning. One, for the callousness of what was clearly a murder by officers of the law. And secondly, by the half-baked response of the authorities, who had a clear duty to send a signal to society that this sort of behaviour was unacceptable. They completely, totally fudged the issue. The net result is that sensitive, thinking people of African origin, that would be, I would say, 8 out of 10 of the population, experienced the whole series of events as the continuation of the unraveling of a kind of genocide. Only this one is state-sponsored, because nobody seems to pay a price. Or if they pay a price, it's a smack on the wrist, which sends a signal that, carry on chaps, it's business as usual. Keep killing African Americans. Oh, the Brits will say, no, we don't do that over here. Right here in the UK right now, the Office of National Statistics has said that I, as a person of African origin, am twice as likely to die of COVID as when everything is adjusted to make sure that we're comparing like to like, as a white man of my age. That's bizarre. Twice as likely. In fact, the figure started off as 4.2 times as likely. But when everything else was equalised, it became twice as likely right here in the United Kingdom. Now, what's a little creepy about life in Britain is that people expect these things to happen to people like me, and then expect us to continue to live as if nothing ever happened. Why? Because these things aren't happening to them. them would be anybody who was white. So the events in America, which are viewed maybe as a curiosity or maybe as something which is sure was certainly unpleasant. Absolutely, I think most people in the UK would call it unpleasant. But they don't somehow think it through and expect it to affect the thinking, the feeling, and the lives of people of African origin here in the UK. And that's why I'm doing this post. I'm doing this post for people to realize that just as they are concerned about the pandemic that's trashing all of our lives, people of African origin here in the UK are also concerned about the social and sometimes physical genocide worldwide that affects us. Think about that. I think it's very important. So when people are doing their social media posts and so on and so forth, I'd like them to think about it from multiple perspectives. Don't expect somebody like me to rock up and be all bubbly and full of beans and this and that and the other. Not after the kind of weekend I've had, not after the kind of images I've seen on television, because I relate to the people that those things are happening to. The problem with white society, here and everywhere else in the world, is that it does not feel the pain of people of African origin. Either that, or it expects them to be impervious to pain. Whatever the case, it's not good enough. And that's why I'm sharing this post, so that people can give their heads a shake and recognize that whereas we all live on the same planet, the planet impacts us all in incredibly different ways, and we should show sensitivity for the differential impacts, for the intersectionality of our collective experiences in this world. Have a great weekend.